Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the MAWB Lunch and Learn with Sarah Clarke from Dufferin Media. Today, we're going to be listening to all of the juicy good tips that Sarah has to offer. Today's session is called 5 Strategies to Improve Your SEO. So let me just tell you a little bit about Sarah. She's passionate, driven, and caring, and I can attest to that because I am actually working with Sarah right now. We're doing a little work together. Sarah founded Dufferin Media back in 2012. So some of you might have seen her introductions or posts on the MAWB Facebook group. She's been in business for quite some time and she has a great team behind her. Sarah is an entrepreneur at heart. She knows and understands firsthand the commitment needed to achieve success. She's a mom. She's a dedicated community volunteer with the Orangeville Food Bank. And she also runs sessions, training, and a group out her way. And I'm very happy to be working with her and asked her if she wouldn't mind doing this session because I receive her emails and one of her emails offered a free SEO audit. And she did an audit and we had a quick chat about it. And I realized that all the work I was putting into my MAWB.ca website was not getting me any traction. So Sarah and I have been working together. I don't know, Sarah, how long? 4 or 5 weeks? And yeah, we've been making—
Everybody's doing audits. She's doing SEO audits.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. So she did an audit on my website, right? So I just want to let you know that we've been putting some practices and making changes and doing some tweaks on my website. And last week she sent me an email letting me know that one of my keywords or phrases had actually hit first page on Google search. So yay, thank you, Sarah. Now, one of the things about SEO you're going to learn from Sarah is it doesn't stay there. It's an ongoing process. It's not a one thing, yay, I've done it. It's what you do every day, all day, every week to keep that momentum going and stay there. But yeah, so I thought let's have her on and let's have her share some tips with the rest of us. And here she is, Sarah Clarke, come on stage.
Great, thank you. I was just trying to share my screen, Crystal.
Sure, let me go ahead and set you up as co-host, Sarah.
Thanks.
Okay, so you should get a message now that says that you've been given co-host.
Okay, great. Thanks for having me here today, everyone.
I will watch the chat box for you. Okay, Sarah?
Oh, okay, thank you. Yes, and I'm happy to, this is a lunch and learn so we can have some fun. I can answer some questions. It can be casual. I'm just getting my technical. So can you guys see my presentation? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
No, you turned it off.
Is it gone now? One sec.
No.
I think I shared the wrong screen. Sorry, one second.
So we saw like the SEO green PowerPoint.
Is that it?
Okay. We see ICEBREAKER right now. You don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the rest.
If I click that, did it change the slide?
Yeah, it says, do you know the 6300?
Okay. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
So good.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Clarke. I am a media strategist and the founder of Dufferin Media. I'm pleased to be here and absolutely thrilled and honored to be working with Christine. I love the MAWB network. I have made lots of very good quality connections through the years, being part of the Facebook group. And I hope that we can all learn a little bit here today, because I believe that digital marketing is an ongoing learning process. Things change so quickly in all of the areas. There's never any way to be completely up to date. So we continually learn. I know Christine and I were just talking about that this week, that her and I both love to keep learning about everything. So today we'll talk a little bit about search engine optimization, which I personally have quite a passion for. I find the technical piece of it very interesting. And the results very fruitful. So for your businesses, I hope that this can help give you some tips and tricks on some easy things that you can implement to move the needle a little bit towards better search results. So this is just an icebreaker demonstration to sort of explain that when we're talking about search engine optimization, what this means is you don't have to outrun the bear, you just have to outrun the rest. It means that your competition and the other websites that are on Google that are getting ranked are constantly moving in terms of their ranking numbers. And as long as you are above your competition, you are going to get more clicks. That's what this means. Okay, so just some quick tips about Google. Did you know that there are over 63,000 searches on Google every second? 70 to 80% of users ignore paid search results. So when we're talking about search engine optimization, in this case, we're talking about the organic and natural search results that show up below the paid ads. Every year, there are 15 to 20% new searches or keywords, which I think is incredibly interesting and something to stay on top of. So for example, 3 years ago, the search word or keyword COVID would not have been a thing. And now it's a very relevant search word. So that's just a really popular example. 52% of searches are on mobile. Only 25% of users or less will go to page 2 of search results. So what we are trying to do is capture for your business the 75% of users that are searching for your business on page number 1. That is really the key. And organic website traffic can drive 40% of companies' revenue or more. So gaining those organic search clicks are incredibly valuable because those customers are literally searching for what you have to offer. They're literally searching for your business. They're searching for your product. They're searching for your service. So they already are pre-qualifying themselves by looking for what you have to offer. So by gaining those search results and those clicks, you are ahead of the game in terms of potentially gaining a new client. Okay, so let's talk about what is search engine optimization. This means the process of improving the quantity and quality of website traffic to a website or to a web page from search engines. So the trick in this concept is to understand that SEO is never done. It is an ongoing marketing strategy of your business that can yield incredible results. And so now into the fun part. I can't see the chat on my screen. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay. Yes, the best place to hide a dead body is on page 2 of Google. That's a good comment. Very good. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today in our lunch and learn session, this is going to be fun. 5 quick and easy ways that you can work on in your business to improve your search engine optimization or your SEO results. So we are going to talk about these 5 things. Number 1 is keyword research. Number 2 is the structural website foundations. Number 3 is alt tags. Number 4 are backlinks. And number 5 are blogs. So I'm going to go through each one and then happy to answer any questions or open up for any discussion. So number 1 is keywords. I speak to an awful lot of business owners that have a perception or a belief of what their business should be found for when they search in Google. And oftentimes, those keywords that you as a business owner may assume are the right keywords to be working on, they may actually not get very many searches. So it's important to have this piece of your business where you're researching what keywords you want to have your business found for on Google. And for most small businesses, what I suggest is you start with a list of 10 to 20 keywords that you believe your business should be found for when potential customers are searching for you on Google. And then you can expand your list of keywords from there as you slowly do research. And then another a quick tip that I have for you is as you do your keyword research, these keywords can also be used in your social media strategy by becoming hashtags on your social media. And potentially, if they're really valuable keywords to you and your business, then you may want to consider putting them in the profiles of your social media so that they get ranked higher on search results for those social media profiles. So keyword research is actually valuable because you can use it in a number of different places in your business and your digital strategy. And then I have some examples here. So I work with a lot of clients that are real estate agents or in that market. And what I find really interesting, this is a really good example, is that, so I use Keyword Planner in Google, and this is a free tool that anybody can use. If you just search Google Keyword Planner, you'll be able to log in there using a Gmail account, and you can play around with different research, with different keywords. It'll give you suggestions. But what I usually use it for is to discover ideas and also to see what the average monthly searches are for search terms. And in this case, my example that I wanted to show is that the term real estate, so a lot of real estate agents would say to me, you know, Sarah, I should be showing up for this in the search results. And the reality is that real estate itself is not a high volume search term. Not a lot of people are searching for that. There's other things that might be opportunities for a real estate agent to consider using in their keyword strategy. So as you can see, the top searches are actually realtor and MLS listings. So that is something that would be educational for a real estate agent to know, is by using the keyword MLS listings, they may actually rank higher on some of their search results. So before I move on from that, any questions? Okay.
There's nothing in the chat box.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next, now that you kind of know and understand what is SEO, what are keywords and why they're important, you will now want to consider the structural setup of your website, and if there is any opportunity on your website to improve your search engine optimization. So what a lot of business owners don't understand is that so I'll back up for a second actually. In the Google algorithms, they consider over 200 factors for ranking a website in Google. That's a lot of things to be working on. SEO really is a huge topic. And so we try and slowly work on each piece. And one of the biggest areas of their consideration is the structural foundations of your website. So I'm just going to touch on a couple things today because this is such a big topic. Number one, you want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly. So this is something that came out, I think, about 5 years ago, where Google introduced a penalty for any website that was no longer mobile friendly. The good news is that any website platform today that's modern, creating websites in like WordPress or Square or Squarespace or Wix or Shopify, they are all going to be generally mobile friendly. So that piece of SEO is kind of becoming standard now. Most websites are mobile friendly. Number two is an SSL certificate. So this is a security certificate tied to your domain. It is what gives the HTTPS at the beginning of your domain. Not having an SSL certificate attached to your domain is, again, one of the items we know that Google penalizes websites for. So if you do not have that little lockbox beside your domain or the HTTPS, you will want to get in touch with your domain provider or your website manager and just make sure that that gets added. So that's a pretty quick and easy thing that you can do if you haven't already. Number three is user experience. Some people call this UX. You might see that sometimes in literature, UX or user experience. And all that means is that your navigation, when somebody comes to your website, it's really clear. Everything is easy to find. Your contact information is fine. The user experience is clean and easy. An example of where this, where you would fail in user experience is if you have to click on like 5 different links to get to a piece of content. So that would be a bad user experience because they've come for a certain piece of information, but in order to get there, they've had to click on one menu item, then another menu item, and then another menu item. So it really is about making sure that all your, the structure of your website is set up so that the user is having a good experience. And then the fourth item under this is that there's no technical errors. So this is another huge issue for, there's so many things under technical errors, but what I am offering at the end of the session is welcoming everybody. If you'd like me to do an SEO audit, then I'd be happy to run that through my system and see if your website has any technical errors that could be corrected. So for example, a technical error might be things as simple as broken links, or they might be an image is broken, or it might be that there are no meta tags on any of the pages, or there are duplicate meta tags on some of your pages. And those technical errors can actually penalize you in the search results and have an effect on how much traffic you're getting from Google. And then the last thing that I would suggest under the structural website foundations is to make sure that you have Google Analytics and Google Search Console installed. On your website, and most Wix has a plugin for that. WordPress has an easy plugin. If you're on WordPress, I love Google Sitekit. It is an incredible tool to hook up your Google Analytics and Search Console. Okay, so there's a couple questions here. Do you use any other tools for keyword research? Yes, I do. I have some paid tools that I use that are SEO tools. So you could try some sites such as, and I'll just type them in the chat, Moz.com, Semrush.com. Those both have other keyword research tools. Where do you place the keywords on your website? That is a good question. So once you have your list of keywords, then you would strategically place them on page titles, title tags, alt tags, and use them in the text content of your pages as well. And I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the blog section, actually, about the keywords. But you would just work on making sure that they are placed on your site in a way that makes sense to the user, because obviously you don't want to be just putting random words on your website for SEO purposes. They need to be structurally built into the content. And meta tag.
Sorry, ladies, excuse me, ladies, please mute yourselves. I'm trying to find out who's speaking. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Christine. So a meta tag is a code that is placed on each page and each post of a website that tells Google what that page is about. And if you're using really any of the modern website builders today, they'll have that field when you build the website on where to put in the meta tag. I really like, if you're a WordPress user, I really like the plugin Yoast for putting on any page or post those builders so that you know where to put it in, and it will turn green or it will turn red if you've done it right or wrong and give you suggestions. Okay, so this is tip number 3. This is an easy one and a fun one, actually. Alt tags. So alt tags are alternative text tags that tell search engines what your image files are. So every time that you upload an image to your website, you have the opportunity to add an alt text tag. Some website programs call it something slightly different, but I know in WordPress, they're called alt tags. You may also see this actually now on social media. A lot of the platforms, you can add alt tags or alt text to your social media. And there's 2 purposes for that. Number 1 is to tell search engines what that image is about. And this is an amazing opportunity to use your keywords. So as you are adding a picture of, a new puppy that's up for sale, or that's maybe a bad idea because we don't do that. We don't like selling puppies anymore, but you would tell Google that this photo is of a baby puppy, and that would be using the alt tag. So the second benefit of that is that now Google knows what it is, but if any of your users are visually impaired and using a screen reader, then they will also be able to see what that image is. So there's two benefits of using alt tags on all your images. And it's actually pretty easy to do this either when you're uploading them or after the fact. If you have a WordPress website, you can actually go through your media library and you can quickly, hopefully you don't have a lot of pictures uploaded like Christine does on the MAWB. And you can go through picture by picture and start adding your alt tags.
So can I do that inside the media, the gallery?
Yes, inside the media library.
I don't have to go and do that page per page. I can do that actually inside the gallery. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, I've started working on yours a little bit, but yeah, if it's another type of website platform, I'm not sure. You may actually have to go into each page and each picture and add the alt text to each image. But this is a quick win. This is a good exercise to do. And if this overwhelms you and you don't have the time to go back and add alt text to all the images that are already on your website, then my suggestion would be is to just make it a practice going forward that every time you add an image file to your website, you find where you can add the alt tag and go ahead and do that and keep your keywords in mind. Anytime you can use your keywords with the alt text, that will be a big win for search engine results. Any questions in the chat about that one? No, that's a pretty straightforward one. Okay, so backlink building is another one of the really big factors that we know that Google uses to rank websites. Basically, the more backlinks that you have and the higher quality they are, tell Google that, hey, your website must be very trustworthy. So what a backlink is any time that another website links to your website. So if, for example, well, now I've got a listing, I think, on the directory of the Mississauga Area Women in Business website. And on that directory, I have my website, and that is now a backlink. So in Google's mind, that helps boost my reputation or trustworthy factor so that it will help my website get ranked higher because it's more trustworthy. So the trick really with backlinks is to be careful that they are trustworthy and that they're quality. If somebody comes to you and says, I can get you 1,000 backlinks for $10, run. Because if you get negative backlinks or backlinks from websites that are poor quality, it can actually penalize your website. So you want to make sure that they're valid, they're good quality, they're not spammy at all. So I'm going to give you some ways that you can do this for your business. Okay, so some of the obvious ones would be your social media profiles. So Twitter, LinkedIn, even Instagram now has a place where you can put that. And then one of the easier ones I personally find are local business directories. So for example, if the city of Mississauga has a place where you can add your business, oftentimes they will have these types of directory listings for free. And then you would go and create a profile and add your website in there. Some of the high quality ones are going to be your Chamber of Commerce, your BIAs, your local city directories. That's what I mean by those local business directories. I know here, I'm in Orangeville. In Orangeville, we have Shop Orangeville. That one is a good one for quality backlink. And then our local Metroland newspaper is the Orangeville Banner, but once you put in and add your account, it also creates a high quality backlink. So those are some of the ways that you can get those for your own website. And what I will do is, as a quick tip, if you're going to start working on setting up profiles in each of these business directories for backlink purposes, please, please, please keep a spreadsheet or keep somewhere written down all your usernames and passwords, because I've seen it happen where a business creates, say, 20 different online profiles on these different sites. So say they've got the Yellow Pages, and they've got the Better Business Bureau, and they've got Shop Mississauga, and they've got all these things set up, but then their hours change, or their website changes, or something in the business changes, and they want to update that. You have to log back into all those sites. So you're going to want your usernames and passwords handy. Online business directories is another fabulous way to generate backlinks. So for example, and there's hundreds and thousands of these, so it's really important to kind of pick and choose. I'll give you one that we use all the time because it ranks quickly. It's called Zoom Info. I'm just going to put it in the chat. But there's other ones like that. So Yelp would be an example of an online business directory where you can add your business, and that backlink will qualify to help you get better search results. And then you're also coming up on Google results under zoom.info / whatever it might be. Okay, so before I go on to that, does the backlink need to be for your full website address? Yes. Not sure if I understand that question. For it to be a backlink, it has to be your full website address. So it should be like www.dufferinmedia.com would be the best strategy to use. You could also have it be like dufferinmedia.com /services. That would qualify as well. Does it matter if it's going to an appointment scheduler page? Yes, as long as it's a page on your website, I guess would be the correct answer for that.
But the scheduler, I think she's referring to, is a third party, right?
Yeah.
So maybe not a great idea.
No. Yeah, so you wouldn't want to link it to Calendly, for example.
Yeah, not for me. Mine is actually built into my website. I have an appointment page, but then what a lot of people can also do is embed a Calendly into their main page. But in my case, it is my main page, but I always link it to my appointment scheduler versus my homepage.
Yes. And Yelp is an online business directory that you can sign up for an account for your business. If people have left negative reviews about your business, that's a different conversation about online reputation management. So for this purpose, it is beneficial for search engine optimization, but I would have a different conversation and strategy about people leaving negative reviews on Yelp, because it's not going to negatively impact your SEO, but it will negatively affect your reputation. And how do you check backlinks on your site? Okay, I see a few people asking that. So I, as part of my audit that I'm offering at the end, I'm going to run anybody's website through my SEO program, which will completely explain all the backlinks that you have. And otherwise, what you could do is use Google Search Console. And if you have Google Search Console set up, then it will give you all the details about the backlinks that go to your site. Okay, so hopefully that answers those questions. And then just a couple more tips then in terms of creating backlinks. Anytime that your business earns any public relations or media opportunities, generally speaking, those online opportunities will include a link to your website in the article. So anytime that you can be a guest on a podcast or submit a little quote or blurb to an online article or get featured in your local paper or local magazine, then those are great ways to create backlinks from as well. And then the other thing that I put on this is called HARO. What that is, it's called Help a Reporter Out. So that is another way that you can get published online. you can, there's a lot of different benefits for HARO. In terms of getting your trust and reputation factor up in the world of your industry, it is a great resource to have. You basically sign up for an account, tell them what your expertise is, and then every day they'll send you opportunities for reporters looking for submissions. So this is how you will see some people getting featured in like Forbes or other types of magazines, because they are either they or someone that works for them is constantly looking through those help a reporter out inquiries and making submissions. But it is a good way to start looking at building backlinks too, if that's something that you are interested in doing. And then blog comments, if you're active on any other blogs and start using the comment section, that's a way that you can actually generate backlinks to your website. So for example, on my website, I can just show an example here. My comments are open on my blog section. So if anybody chooses to leave a comment on any of my blogs, then it will show up and their website will actually be, so down here, as part of their response, their website will be sitting there in the background, and that creates a backlink for them.
Sorry,
so,
Sarah. Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead. How, but they didn't leave their website URL.
They do when they leave the comment. So it ends up getting embedded in the background. And I know that I've worked on this strategy from my blog and commented on others, and they become backlinks on quite a few sites. So it is a strategy that you could use occasionally to create some backlinks.
So I have a little story to go with that.
Yep.
I have left many Google reviews, and I'm getting notifications saying, congratulations, the photos you left in this Google review have, reached 10,000 people. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
So funny, it is an event that was a MAWB play date that we held a couple summers ago. And our clown, Colleen, came and painted faces. Some of you are on this call might remember that. So I shared a thank you to her for coming, because she did it for free for kind of advertising purposes. And I shared a couple photos of my kids' faces painted. So that particular review keeps getting seen. So now I wish I'd used MAWB.ca more often in that review, like not in a hacky kind of spammy way, but in a, kind of potentially salesy way for others to find it, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of an interesting idea too, because if you have your Gmail account set up for your business and you start leaving reviews as your business, that's potentially another way to get out there on Google via the reviews. So that's kind of a neat idea, Christine. And then guest blog posts. I think I saw Christine saying that MAWB is looking for guest blog posts. The benefit of doing a guest blog post for another website, so you write the content and they publish it, but they publish it with a link back to your website. That is a way to get a very good quality backlink. So being a guest blogger on other websites is a great opportunity for backlinking. It's also a great opportunity to collaborate with each other and help each other promote your businesses. So I too am available for guest bloggers. If anybody's interested in submitting anything to my sarahclarke.biz, then I'm 100% open to collaborations that way. And then there was a question, I love this, is it free? That might have been about the HARO, help a reporter out. It is free, 100% free. Because everything I put here is free. If you register your business on the yellowpages.ca, they're going to call you and try and sell you an ad. You don't need it. All you want is the listing. You're going to find the same thing with the Better Business Bureau and Yelp. Their salespeople are going to call you trying to sell you a listing. You don't need it. You just need the free version. With that backlink to your site, you get just as much value. Can the blog be on your site and posted as a guest blog too? Only if the content is slightly changed. So Google will actually penalize both your sites if you have the same content, because it's going to be duplicate content. Google's looking for unique content. That's why it would need to be adjusted. So you can just copy and paste it from one site to another. I think that's that question.
Copy and paste it, but then make changes is what you're saying.
Yeah, you could change it so it becomes a unique piece of content.
Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, we're sort of on this topic already. We're going to talk about the benefits of blogging. So the benefits of blogging is that it creates fresh content for your website, which Google loves, that fresh content, fresh and unique content. It creates content for your social media. It is generally evergreen content, which means once you've written and published it, you can reshare it again because it's relevant for a long time. So if I write an article on the benefits of email marketing and I published it 6 months ago, it's still relevant today. It's still relevant a year from now. It's evergreen content. It creates content for email marketing. So you can include a link to your blogs from your email. You can repurpose the content. So on an ongoing basis, you can take that blog and you can make it into more social media posts. You can make it into multiple pins for Pinterest. You could make it into an Instagram reel. You could make it into a TikTok. It could be a topic for a webinar. So spending that time on creating those blogs are really valuable for repurposing. And then for our purpose today, we're talking about search engine optimization. So blogging is incredibly beneficial for search engine optimization. And it helps elevate your brand. It builds trust and expertise. It's a way of showcasing that you are an expert in your field. You're sharing your knowledge, you're helping others. And I think that's really what is one of the biggest benefits. A couple blogging tips that I have is to match your keyword research to your blog strategy. So this is where you can do keyword research, get ideas for keywords based on the first thing that we talked about, and then pull that forward into a blog topic, title, include it in the headings, include it in the body of the content, as well as the alt tags on the images. And if you are using WordPress as your website platform, then I suggest you use Yoast as a plugin, which will help you create each blog into a SEO optimized piece of content. You'll get your double green lights, which means it's all optimized. And that way it should have a higher chance of being indexed on Google. Okay, so I'm just going to circle back. I see some more comments.
Yeah, there's one there from Shalini.
Blogs or videos? Everyone keeps saying videos are the way to grow. Yes, in terms of digital marketing, video is definitely a strategy that I would include. Right now, we're talking about websites, SEO, and blogs. Video is a different game when we talk about SEO, because videos themselves, the content in them is not indexed by Google. The descriptions of them are, and if you get them transcribed, then that is amazing content for search engine optimization. So I love Christine's response to say do both. I agree with that. And one of the things that I've seen done really, really well is I was working with a podcaster and he would do his interview on video and then use a program to transcribe the video, and he would take the text transcription of the video and actually put that text on his website. The benefit for search engine optimization was insane because all of a sudden there's so much fresh content. And then he had that video on YouTube and he clipped it down for Instagram and he clipped it down for Twitter. Like it was such a beneficial strategy. I love that. So yes, do both video and blogs. And you can embed the video in your blog. Yes, that is another great point. If you upload it to YouTube, you can put the embed of the YouTube on your blog. Do your video and create the blog from the transcript. I think that's kind of what I said. Sorry, Christine, you and I are on the same page.
That's good. That's good.
And you can do this on Google Docs with your voice. Yes, I have a blogger friend who does that because she's more of a verbal person than sitting down in front of a keyboard. So she takes her phone around with her and has this Google transcription thing open, and she talks and creates blog post content on a Google Doc from speaking. So that's actually a really good way to do it too. If you're not a typer, you can talk and do your blogs that way. I think that was my last little point. Now I have the offer to do a free SEO audit. And of course I would book a half-hour consultation with myself to talk about your website and what I find in my audit. So it basically would review all of if there are any technical issues on your website, how many keywords you're being ranked for, and how many backlinks you have. And then I can give you some information on how you might be able to improve those on your website. So I'm just going to, I think, stop my share.
So when we are, when I send out the recording, Sarah, I will include all of your contact information, the information you gave me that I put on the event and on our website. So Sarah's got some more backlinks there, ladies.
Yes, 100%. So I just need your website address and your email to do those SEO audits. And then I can send you the report.
Any questions? Are we looking in the chat box? Yes, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. That's awesome. This is great, great, great.
Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting because most business owners that I talk to, usually within the first minutes of speaking to them, if I ask them what their business goals are, it's usually to be found higher on Google search results. But then a lot of business owners don't understand what goes into that. So it's great to have the education piece for your business on what does in fact go into that, because there's a lot of moving pieces. There's search engine optimization, which is on your website. We talked about that today, but there's also social media and how that plays into your Google search results. And there's also Google My Business or Google Business Profile, which feeds into those results as well. So
and that's undergoing a big change, a big shift. And ladies, I don't know if you noticed, but we do have a presentation at the end of this month on that very topic as well. So we have another guest speaker coming in to do an online discussion on that.
Yeah, they're always changing everything.
Oh, I know. It's never ending. It's never ending.
So I always try and encourage business owners, don't get completely overwhelmed, because you're never going to be 100% perfect on everything. But if you can make a little bit of progress all the time and keep moving towards it, then you will see, once you start seeing results, you'll understand. Like as I started working with the MAWB website and just implementing a few little pieces, we started seeing the rankings going up. And there's so much that you could be doing on an ongoing basis. You would never get it all done. So realistic expectations are really important here. Is start off with the foundations of the understanding and the learning, and then just pick little things that you can work on all the time. And then of course, the other thing that you can do is delegate some of these pieces out too. So if you have a website and you've got thousands of images that have no alt text, outsource that to a VA or something to get them to go through and update it. Like I think that you would see a really quick win by doing that. So you don't have to take on the world yourself, ladies, like I try to do.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions for Sarah? I know that some people are asking for the email address. Sarah, can you pop your email address in here? And I will definitely include that in the email with the recording. And I'm just going to save the chat as well. So you guys, you can save the chat as well. If there's any questions that you wanted to review or answers you want to go over again with that. Thank you very much, Sarah. Very informative.
Oh,
and yeah, like I said, I'm really happy with the work we're doing together, and we're chipping away, chip, 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 chip. And as I learn more, I'm doing better with each new blog that comes on, making sure to hit the alt text, and yeah, lots of fun little. It's the little things, and it's knowing, right, where to make sure you're repeating those keywords in a authentic way.
Yes.
I remember years ago hearing that people would put their keyword, just copy and paste it 1,000 times in white and hide it. But it was, and then Google realized, no, we're not going to let you do that anymore. So you have to, write content.
That's really old SEO. If you go to a website and there's all these like texts at the bottom with all these locations, that's not how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. I'd love to grab a photo before we go. So is that okay, gals? If we can get a picture, I'm gonna put on my red glass frames for this one. So everybody's puffing up their hair, pinch your cheeks. And I'll close this chat box to see who's behind there. Okay, so Sharon and Sabrina and Salima, if you want to come on, I'm going to grab a photo. If not, that's okay. There's no pressure at all. And then I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3, cheese, and just make sure you're looking into the camera. So 1, 2, 3, cheese. Awesome, ladies. Thank you so much. Any final questions before I give a couple of quick announcements? Any final questions for Sarah?
There's a couple more in the chat, actually.
Oh, okay. Let's grab those.
Okay. Colleen said, when you search my biz, pictures come up from companies that no longer carry me. I would want to take a look at that individually, Colleen. So actually, if you want to email me that, I would better answer that, I think, off the presentation here. And can you use the same tags in all images? I wouldn't do that for all of them. I would try and make them as unique as possible when you're adding them in, and make sure that they match the picture. So that if somebody is in fact accessing it from a screen reader, it doesn't tell them one thing and the picture is completely different. So try and make it as authentic as possible in order to maximize those alt tags. But I wouldn't just copy and paste the same description over and over and over again 100 times. I don't think that would be beneficial.
It's like using the same hashtags on Instagram over and over and over again when you do something humorous and something tip. No, it should be pretty relevant to what the picture is, right? Yeah. So if you've uploaded a picture and it's women sitting at a table and they're looking at a laptop, then that's kind of the business women in a meeting at a boardroom looking at a laptop, right? Get your keyword in there, but also have it be descriptive enough that it's picking it up on the reader and being beneficial for anyone who might have disability.
100%, 100%. How often do you review Google Analytics? Personally, I look at mine usually once a week. Once a month would be sufficient too. On a high level, I look at my unique visitors, how many page views I've had, and where the traffic has come from. So I usually look and see how much is coming from organic search results, how much is coming from social media, if you're running any paid ads, what those analytics look like. And then sometimes I'll dive a bit deeper. I mean, there's so much data there, and I'll make sure they're all coming from my geographical location, because for me, that might be relevant. For some businesses, it might not. So that's sort of the data I look at, but I think every business would be different. I'm not sure what this comment means. I think this is for you, Christine. My website is controlled by head office. Christine, You need.
Unfortunately, Nicola, when you have a replicated website, like direct sellers and network marketers, they have replicated websites. And when you have replicated websites, there's not a lot of SEO that you can personally do to get yourself, you, Nicola, the sales representative, to kind of stand out, because you only usually have 1 or 2 pages you can work with. They usually
can't edit anything.
Oh, you can't change anything. Yeah.
No. So that's why I was laughing, because Donna's in MAWB. She's the owner. So I was like, you have to send this to her.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're doing great things over there. I'm sure she's working with someone who's doing this as well, but for sure. What suggestions, Sarah, can you make to a direct seller, a network marketer who has a website, but it is replicated and they don't have a lot of opportunity to make changes? Would you recommend that they set up a separate blogging article website to help them increase their chances of being found? Like Nicola she's got legs out of Milton, but also serves, Oakville, Burlington. So
we definitely work with a couple of organizations that are similar to that, where they've got everything's controlled by one sort of site, and then there's off sites for each location. If they will allow you to customize anything on your extended page, then definitely take advantage of that in terms of keywords, etc. If they don't, you could ask if you send them some changes to the text, if they will do it for you. If both the answers to that are no, my suggestion, if it were my business, I would be creating my own mini site in something easy like WordPress or Squarespace, and dedicating all of my marketing efforts to something I could control. Okay. And that way you'll be able to come up with strategies that fit your business, and you can add some fun and personality to it too, and have it be like your own blog. And that's sort of where I would go with.
Perfect. That was something I actually wrote down with a star as you were talking with blogging. I barely even know what it is, but that's sort of what I thought. And I do have a Google business page, which I've had a lot of success with people reaching out to me from all across Canada, from Google searches. So that's perfect.
Oh, keep that up then.
Yeah, that sounds like that's a good strategy for you, and social media would be as well. The other benefit of having your own blog is if you choose to get into any other area of revenue generation, you can quickly tap that into your own branded blog too. So I've seen that work before for somebody that was in a similar situation.
So one thing, Nicola, that I want to mention, if you're Google My Business info or page, is make sure when you're out at events, you take pictures of you out at events with addresses and landmarks in the background. So for my realtors, when they send me photos of them out and about around town and in front of their homes, the listings, they get pushed out further than a static photo, than a generic photo, than you just showing a pair of leggings. So wear your leggings around town, and I'm at the bakery, I've got my donut leggings. Do you know what I mean? And with the pig, and that's what I'm seeing is great success for my clients. I don't know if Sarah has any other little tips, but it's easy enough to do because you're always in the leggings, right? So
yes.
Show us, what do you got on today?
I love that. I love that idea. And I think, Christine, maybe what you were saying there is to put them on your Google My Business as a picture. Yes.
Photos, as photos. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can put them as a post, but put them as photos.
Yeah. But rename the file.
And use the embedded, the alternate text.
I don't think an adult text actually on Google.
I don't know if you can or not. But for my clients, I do it in both places. I do it as a post because I can add content. So SEO words are there. And then I add it as a picture, a photo. So the picture's there. And I always say to them, like, get in front of a sign, a street sign, an address, something that Google loves that. Because Google Maps is, that's what they're looking for.
I agree. That's a great strategy.
Awesome, ladies. It is 1:30. Sarah, high five, or 10, or whatever I'm doing right now. Congratulations. Excellent session. I know that many people are going to be following up with you, and I do recommend that audit. And I'm happily working with Sarah now, so go for it, gals. And before I leave you, I just want to again remind you that we do have a MAWB meetup coming up, an in-person meetup coming up on the 20th of July, 9 to 11:30, taking place at our regular location, which is the Meadowvale Community Center. And we have Tavisha, who's going to come out and teach us how to feng shui our office to bring in the money, ladies, to bring in the money. You know, a couple of years ago, we had a MAWB retreat, and we had a feng shui presenter. Do y'all remember? You might not all remember it. Some of you were there, remember. The suggestions she gave, I changed my office around. Okay, I pointed my desk the other way, the money way. And I couldn't believe, because I didn't really think that's not true, but let me try it. It worked. That fall, I got contracts, I got new clients. I was like, hey, there's something to this. So I haven't done things in a while in my office. So that's why I asked Tavisha to come and speak with us. And if there's any little things that we can do to remove the blockages, open up the, you know, the universe's channels towards us, why not, right? So that's the 20th. And then I wanted to let you know that on the 26th, we have a presentation from 10 to 11 with Alex Chung, and he's going to speak to us about the new Google Maps and profile, because your Google My Business page, if some of you are using that on your phone, the mobile app is going to go away. It's going to be switched over. So it's important that if you are using it and find success from it, that you make sure to stay abreast of it. If you can attend that session, no problem, but please make sure that you get yourself informed about those changes so that you are keeping on track and staying alert and aware in that area. And lastly, sorry, one last thing is we are still looking for some guest bloggers. So if you have content that you think would be helpful for this audience, you all know what this audience is. You live it, you breathe it, you're in here. So if you think you have some content that might be helpful for this audience, please reach out to me and see if we can't get you guest blogging with your backlinks on our website. But please note, as Sarah said, it is not good for you, for the MAWB, if it's a duplicate piece of content that you've already put out there. So if you do have good content and you got good response from it, wonderful. Change it up, tweak it, modify it so it's not a duplicate, okay? Quillbot, ladies, Quillbot. That's my tip for today. That is a website that allows you to paraphrase. So pop in the paragraph, hit the paraphrase button, and it'll jumble it up and you can recreate that blog post. Yes, my 15-year-old son taught me about that site, and I gotta tell you, I love it. Okay, Sarah, any parting words from you, my dear?
Oh, I just would love to thank you so much, Christine, for inviting me on today. This was a lot of fun. I hope it was helpful for everyone. And I look forward to following up with anybody who's reached out to me.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, ladies, for coming. We will see you around. Bye now.
Bye.